I'm Sharky's Goon. On today's episode, let's talk about James Bond. So, Goon, I've been on a James Bond kick, and on Saturday night, I watched On Her Majesty's Secret Service. One of the better Bond films, one of the most grounded Bond films, but there's something in it that drives me crazy. Let me tell you about it. So, up until this point in the Bond films, we've seen a guy who can kill people with a hat. We've seen secret hideouts built under volcanoes. We've seen Bond with a jetpack. But in On Her Majesty's Secret Service, the thing that was driving me nuts is Blofeld is a world-class skier. And I don't know why this bothers me so much, but when they got to Blofeld skiing down the mountain, chasing James Bond, I was like, no, Blofeld can't ski. Why? Explain this to me. A, why does it bother me? And B, what is possibly the justification for Blofeld being a world-class skier?
That was Telly Savalas, right?
Yes.
So Telly Savalas, even when we were younger and he was younger, he always looked like an old man. Even when he was Kojak in Dirty Dozen, you always think of him as an older person that couldn't ski. So that's the problem with why it's driving you crazy, because why is a supervillain able to ski?
Yeah.
Now, right, so there's no backstory and haven't heard any reason why he knows how to ski. But maybe he grew up in a Swedish village as a kid. And his aspirations were to be a gold medal skier. And he actually took lessons when he was younger, and he was a good skier, and, he was good at it. And then somebody dashed his dreams, and that turned him on his evil kick to become taking over the world just because he wanted his gold medal.
Okay, there's a hell of a lot to unpack there. Let's start there. So the setup for the skiing is that Blofeld is holed up in a mountain chalet at the top of a mountain. So I was just describing this to being, typical supervillain where we have to build a crazy hideout somewhere. But maybe your theory that he's from the mountains, maybe that does actually somehow make sense.
Yeah, I don't know why I pulled that out of my head, but I'm just giving him a backstory, just like somebody would. This is how I get around some of the stupid stuff in films.
Now, to be fair, I'm okay with James Bond being a world-class skier because he's James Bond. His fiancée, Tracy, is with him. She's apparently a world-class skier, but she's a countess, so that makes sense, right? She's grown up at ski mountains. And all of Blofeld's henchmen are world-class skiers, but that I can explain in a second. In the movie, and I don't know why, all of Blofeld's henchmen are wearing jackets with the Olympic logo. And I don't mean a knockoff Olympic logo. I mean the 5 rings that if in 2019, 2020 you used on something, the Olympics would call you before the paint dried. I don't know if this was some weird marketing deal. I don't know if it's 1969 and nobody cares. But Blofeld's guys all wear Olympic jackets. So I just, retconned in my head, well, obviously he hired a bunch of guys from the Olympics, ex-skiers. So it makes sense that they are really good at skiing. But I don't know why Blofeld is a really good skier.
See, look, it just proves the point about Blofeld being a skier. Maybe when he was growing up, these were people that he knew. Those were his circles of friends. He actually made, a whole bunch of money. Back then there was really no money in the Olympics that, you had no endorsement deals. So maybe, after their careers were over, he goes, hey, I want my buddies to hang out with me. I'm going to pay you to hang out with me. Every now and then you might have to get your hands dirty. But, you hang out with me. I take care of you. You're my entourage.
So he's like a guy from the neighborhood who's like, hey, Sven, nice job in the 1968 Olympics. I got a gig for you.
Yeah, I trust you. We came up together. I know I can trust you. So I'm going to take care of you. You take care of me. I might have to have you, how they say paint houses. I might have to, groom the snow a little bit.
This theory actually makes sense to me. I'm glad we did this episode.
Ever since you were telling me you were thinking about it, I've been working on it. Just like I held back on some other stuff in our other episodes.
Hey, can we talk about Telly Savalas some more? He has a lot of Vin Diesel in him, or maybe Vin has a lot of Telly in him. I want to get a time machine and make Fast and the Furious 68 and have, Paul Newman and Telly Savalas in it. I want to make this film. I don't know how to do this. Maybe I'll have to CGI it, but I need to see this now.
How about you just watch The Dirty Dozen?
I I hate people that know a lot about films.
Why are you doing a podcast with me?
I don't know. On that note, I'm just going to get out. Bye.